The Bears.
Because of the way they play the nickel corner here, and the nickel corner plays 88-85% of the snaps. He's got to be like part linebacker.
The Bears.
When you're in a scouting room, there's going to be differences of opinion.
The Bears.
Well, you're looking at traits. And remember when he tested very, very well.
The Bears.
Greg, why are teams wrong on quarterback evaluation so up?
Number one, it's a hard position to evaluate.
Former Bears scouting director Greg Gabriel talks football live every week on the Barroom Network. Also available on demand.
Look, I think it's a good time to be a Chicago Bears fan. There's a lot to be excited about. But let me tell you something. We are past the point of excuses. If things go sour, you have used up all of the patience that Chicago has to offer.
The following program is rated TV MALV. It contains strong language, violence, and nudity. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Right on is the Barfly Tailgate show. What's happening, Barflies? I got C-Dub with me. Before we look, and we got Kate. We got KB. He just dropped by. KB,
what's going on, fellas?
How you doing? We got a game today. We got a couple guests hopefully dropping by here. AC is on vacation, so we'll miss him today. There was a little bit of panic. I didn't get to talk to you guys last week. I was on vacation. There was a little bit of panic after the Bears gave up 52 points against the Lions. And, KB, was there a lot of panic, maybe in some panic among Bears fans after that 50 burn? I'll get to you in a second, Chris.
I think it was a lot more than panic. While I was watching the game, man, it was a whole lot of faces staring at each other, and we were all a little confused. It was a whole lot of this didn't happen last week when they played Green Bay. So where's this coming from? And then the sad reality sat in, and everybody looked at each other and said, "Well, maybe we just fucking suck."
Yeah, we might not be that good this year.
We might not be as good as we thought. Yeah, man. It like I said, it just seemed like a barrage, man. It was an avalanche. Once the first rock fell, all the rocks started falling, and there was no stopping it. To be honest, and it didn't seem like the offense necessarily played too bad in the beginning. It's just the defense gave up 50-something fucking points. Yeah, so I was just, and I was shocked, man. And then you sit and you look at it, you realize Jalen Johnson's gone for the year. The pass rush that we did have in the first game just totally disappeared. Run game was absent. It was just a total failure on all points. And like I said, then it confounds to the point that we can only score 21 points at that point.
Yeah, you couldn't write a worse script for the beginning of the season, C-Dub. Bears are giving up at average 40 points a game. Of course, skewed from the 50 burger that they gave up to the Lions. It felt a little personal, Dan Campbell giving it to his ex-offensive coordinator. What were your thoughts after that game last week?
Oh, God. Well, I mean, the worst thing was I couldn't actually watch the game live. It was blacked out over in the UK on my network. So basically, I'll try to follow it by people's messages on X. And then I will just watch a Red Zone. And at first, it didn't sound too bad every time it jumped to Red Zone, showed a bit of the Bears game. And it just gradually got worse throughout the second half. And I was thinking, oh, my God, this must be absolutely terrible. But when I did get a chance to actually see the game the day after, I thought the offense they were sort of in the game right up to, say, the start of the third quarter. Really, you know, I mean, you're only the turnovers, Sweat's fumble, and also the coach going for 2 4th downs, where really we should have either gone for the field goal or punted it. I can't remember where we were in the field position, but that just drove me insane. To me, that's just a sign of a bit of an arrogance. I know he's going against Dan Campbell, and you know there's all the drama and hysteria regarding him coming to the Bears, but I just thought that was just arrogance on the coach, really. And then basically, just like KB sort of said, really, once we got behind the sticks and their offense and started, just wearing us down. And it just proved that, you know, I got sucked into that group of people who are going, oh, well, because I've lost the 2 coordinators, the Lions, that, you know, it's going to be over for them. But obviously, they might have lost the coaches, but they've still got the players. Yeah. So that showed the depth of their roster compared to ours, really. We looked very sort of thin and bare when you get a few injuries, and especially on the defense. We just looked very sort of bare. And I think the guys who we had out injured on defense, that's such a massive loss for us because they're all in key positions. And I think it would have been a lot closer game if we had everybody sort of healthy. I mean, Jalen Johnson going out as well, and you know, he might be out for the whole season, which is just terrible. And it's just really weird because the defensive backfield was supposed to be one of our, you know, strongest units. And I remember us talking about the end of last year and in the preseason, it's just been decimated, really. And I thought I said the coach going 4th down twice. That just really hurts me. I thought there's just no need, man. Forget about all the background bullshit. But it was just how quickly we sort of felt the bits on defense. They were a bit like a pack of cards, and Sweat again didn't really get any pressure, and we didn't get any pressure sort of unit-wise on the defensive lines. So, I mean, what we've got to remember is that we have played 2 teams, which one went 14-3, and another one went 15-2 last season. So you're probably playing against 2 of the strongest squads in the league. So that's the only sunshine I could actually think, really, coming into the Dallas Cowboys game, is that the Dallas Cowboys aren't the Detroit Lions or the Vikings, and not at that level. But, just sort of disappointed with the false starts and just disappointed. Yeah, it just sort of showed where we are, really. And, it feels like we're sort of a couple of years behind everybody, you know, squad-wise. I wouldn't say coach, but definitely squad-wise.
Yeah, we're 3-17 in the NFC North, I think, since Ryan Poles took over. Now we're 0-2 to start the year in the division. That hurts. And like Fochisi said, we should have beaten the Vikings. Fell apart there in the end of the third and into the fourth quarter, giving up 21 points, blowing that 11-point lead. It was shocking to Bears fans. You know, I think we thought we were going to be pretty good, and the realization that we might not be that good. The roster might not be as good as we think it is. And of course, people went on X and like, I have all these ways I could fix the Bears. You know, we could sign this guy, we could do this, we could draft this guy next year. And I think, we're suffering the injury bug. That's a big part of it. Today we'll probably be without three of our best defensive players, KB and Jalen Jones and Kyler Gordon and TJ Edwards. And losing those three guys against a passing offense like the Cowboys, that is going to hurt. KB, I think we're signing some cornerbacks off the street to play today. They made some moves at cornerback. It looks like Tyreek Stevenson and Nashawn Wright will still be out there. Our nickel quarterback is going to be gone. That's going to hurt when they line up somebody in the slot. That having Kyler to play tough defense on the slot corner or on the slot wide receiver. Thoughts on the secondary today?
Well, it is nice to know that Nashawn Wright is going to be back out there because I didn't realize. I thought he might have been hurt from the first game. So, I mean, that's a little bit more of a sigh of relief because I thought it was going to be Ray McLeod or what's the one guy that we just got back from the 49ers? It's not Jaden, whatever his name is. Golly.
At corner?
Yeah, they just re-signed him back.
Nick McLeod?
No, I said Ray McLeod. I meant Nick McLeod.
Yeah.
No, it was another guy we had let walk, and then he came.
Jalen Jones.
Yeah, Jalen Jones.
He was a draft pick, I think, of polls.
Was he?
A couple years back.
I thought he was undrafted.
Was it Pace? He might have been a Pace pick. I don't remember. Jalen Jones.
Yeah.
Dallas Flowers is another player that we've signed. That's the guy I was talking about signing off the street. We need bodies back there, but the Dallas offense is number one in the NFL. They're scoring 30 points per game. Dak Prescott looks healthy. Brian Schottenheimer's a good offensive mind. You've got George Pickens sitting opposite CeeDee Lamb, and CeeDee Lamb's going to be a really tough cover today for whoever draws that assignment, whether they move him around. I'm afraid they're going to move him to all three spots, especially in the slot. It's going to be a tough cover. CD, he might go for 100 yards. I was looking. I actually played a bet for Caleb to throw for 300 and Dak to throw for 300 today, and it's plus 950. $10 will pay you 105. I might. There could be 700 yards of combined passing offense today. Dallas can't stop anybody either.
I was going to say, I think you got a lot more faith in our passing game than I do right now. I don't think he goes 300.
Well, they have their top two corners out also. Dallas is signing guys off the street as well. They just signed Trayvon Diggs off the street.
Hey, brother.
The teams are converting. I have this. Let me see here. Yeah, teams are converting on third down versus the Bears at 51.9% rate. KB, it's like you convert on third down. You got better than 50% chance of converting on third down. Of course, they're converting on third down at about the same rate. The Cowboys are scoring 30 points per game, but they're allowing 30 points per game as well. So. This game, I love the over in this game. I really pounded the over. I think that goes over 50 points. Both teams, I think, easily can get to 24. And then a field goal to win it puts you at 51. So, to me, I love the over in this game. Again, the Bears will score. Ben will put something up to score on the Cowboys defense.
Listen. I want to believe you. I want to believe you. I want to hear that. But until I see confidence from Caleb behind the line, I'm not taking us to score no damn points. I felt like we barely scored the 21, and that was me saying we look competent.
I want to join in. I want to join Tooch's world. That's what I want. I would last him a bit more in KB's world, and none of us are happy.
If we get over the over, that's because the Cowboys will score 40-some goddamn points.
They'll both score like 24 or something like that.
I can't take an under in this game with both of these defenses, that's for sure. The thing with I have seen some progress with Caleb. The left tackle position's obviously still an issue. Braxton Jones, God bless him, he's playing. He definitely doesn't look 100%. But he's trying. He's out there. He just is, an NFL average to below average offensive lineman. Like AC said, our left tackle's probably playing on Saturdays right now.
Probably.
And I'll talk a little bit about a guy that I like that kind of dominated the Des Moines area football scene when he was here playing for Southeast Polk High School, that is now on the Crimson Tide. He would look great in the Bears uniform. I don't know if we'll have a high enough pick to get him, but if Neil stops by, we'll talk about him.
Okay.
Remind me later because I may forget. But on the flip side, here's the Bears. I know we haven't gotten it in the end zone, to be honest. We're scoring 22 points, 5 points per game, and allowing almost 40. We're -2 in the turnover margins. These aren't good numbers, but the third down defense, we're allowing teams to convert at a 31.8% clip. Our third down offense, 40%. So we definitely have some room to grow there on both sides of the ball, as everyone knows.
Regarding the O-line too, I'm really worried about how Jackson's playing, the right guard.
Yeah,
it's like Nate Davis Mark II, but he's actually turning up to do it instead of Nate Davis never even bothered turning up. But it's just like a revolving door with a guy. Yeah, and it just doesn't seem to be getting any better through the. Yeah. I know it's only been 2 games, but this was a big signing and we really wanted to sort of strengthen the internal part of the O-line. And
we traded for him.
He stood out really, noticeable. When when you're just watching the game, it's noticeable. An offensive lineman shouldn't be noticeable, should they, when you're watching the game? And I've been really sort of disheartened, a bit disappointed about his form. Unless, I know like he had a bit of time out during the training camp, but man, he sucks. He just sucks, man.
And actually, we do have him here. Let me add him here. Oh, good. It just flopped the red. Neil.
Hey, Neil.
How you doing, Neil?
I am doing great, boys. Why? Well, because it's another day. It's another day we get to be alive. It's another day we get to enjoy life, living, breathing, eating, drinking, smoking, whatever it is we like to do, we're doing it. And hey, I got to ask you a paramount question right off the bat here. I got to ask you this paramount question. Do you remember the 21st night of September? Happy Earth, Wind, Fire Day, boys. I'm amped up.
Very cool. Yeah, we got a late game, so we've got plenty of time before the game starts. I was actually thinking of starting early myself with a little beverage. Neil, we're talking about just kind of the shock of how some Bears fans, of course, breathed or drank the Kool-Aid with Ben Johnson being hired. And I think we've got a good coaching staff in place. It's just we might not have the players to compete with the division, or maybe in the NFL, or roster maybe in the lower half of the league. Your thoughts?
Well, I mean, hell, the heavens have been falling from the sky since the very beginning of the season, it feels like, right? I mean, the national media has been absolutely trashing this particular franchise for weeks now. I don't necessarily feel that it is panic time whatsoever. I don't think that is the case whatsoever. The thing about it is that the defense has obviously looked like garbage. Part of that is because, we have a secondary that is completely lit up with injuries and players that can't play, which is putting a lot of pressure on the second level and the defensive line, and specifically a defensive line that cannot get to the quarterback right now, which is certainly a concern that needs to be fixed ASAP. We should have, with all this money that we have spent on all these dudes across the defensive front there with their hands in the dirt or rushing off the edge, we shouldn't have to scheme guys up to get to the quarterback. We should be able to rely on these guys to cause a bunch of problems on their own, which is what I thought we were going to see at the very front end of this entire thing. Montez Sweat, the big money man off the edge there. That is probably the biggest problem I think we have on the defense right now is we got a guy that just cannot get to the football, get to the quarterback, cause problems in the backfield, disrupt things. We got a guy in the middle that we paid a bunch of money to in the offseason that can't get healthy. That knee is a serious problem, and I don't understand what and why that is a thing that is happening. Dio Adembo has a lot of promise, but he certainly is not living up to his potential yet. And then, again, corners. We got corners that can't stay healthy, and we got specifically one corner who's a knucklehead that can't seem to progress. He seems to be regressing as we keep on going forward. So defensively, massive issues. Offensively, I think if we're going to take away positives, let's talk about the fact that we are able to move the football at the beginning of the game and start out fast, which is something that we as Bears fans have not been able to have not been able to celebrate or rely on one bit, over the course of the past let's say 12 years since Lovie Smith got fired. Here's something I ran into last week, a couple of really troubling stats. I can go ahead and hat tip up to Carmen Yurko for sharing this. In the past, I think it's 12 years since Lovie got fired, since the first year of Trestman. Okay, that's 12 years, 76 wins, 5 head coaches, 7 different offensive coordinators, 7 different defensive coordinators, 4 GMs, 2 presidents, 17 quarterbacks. I think they said 1 winning season. That is a wild thing to think about. When you really start breaking those numbers down on paper, that looks like. That is a frightening thing. So the fact that we have anything, positive, going offensively, which is not something that we've been able to share and celebrate over the course of that 12-year span of complete futility, that's a fun thing to look at and be happy about. Caleb seems to be able to operate really well within structure, and what I mean by structure is that first opening script or two. He seems to be able to function whenever he pretty much knows what the plan is, what's coming up next, what to expect. And when he does have some time to operate back there, he looks like he's able to, execute at a pretty high level. And, he hasn't been able to rely on the offensive line one bit since he's been here. And that's something that I think that slowly but surely he's coming to realize he can trust a little bit. The tackles, trash right now. But that interior, offensive line, I think is getting some stuff done. So that is, those are some positives we could take away in this entire thing.
Yeah, there was definitely some pockets for Caleb to work in the last game. And it was only until the game got out of hand that he kind of went off script. But yeah, when he does have those scripted offense, first 15 plays or so, he's playing pretty well. I made some big time throws. But about the defense, we are the 5th highest paid defensive line in the NFL. We're just not getting results.
Really?
And when you're playing man on the outside, you're not getting any pressure. It's pretty hard. And Dennis Allen has had to go to a lot more zone in these games as we're getting sliced and diced apart. Thoughts, KB, on anything Neil said?
Yeah, I mean, bro, it's a lot of huffing and puffing for me right now. I'm sorry. I do feel like Darnell Wright needs to be better. We all know that Braxton Jones is average. Did Darnell draw Aiden Hutchinson all game last game? If that was the case, because I didn't really pay attention to it. If you had Aiden Hutchinson, I get it. That's a hard draw. I mean, I'm not gonna give him too much
to go back and look
slack on it. But at the end of the day, you got to be better. I'm starting to get tired of seeing Jonah Jackson already. I would love to see Luke Newman get a little bit of playing time at right guard.
Yeah.
Drafted the guy. If Jonah Jackson doesn't step up the way he needs to in this next game, I would look to replace him with Luke Newman. He's young. You gotta let him play. Also, the one thing, the D line. What can you say, right? The one thing about Poles that I was thinking of the other day while driving, right before Poles, we had, to me, probably one of the most aggressive presidents or whatever Poles position is at the moment. Is the word is escaping me. GM. We probably had one of the most aggressive GMs that we had in a long while with Pace. Pace went out, he made moves, and Pace made trades, and Pace signed folks and put our cap in the hell. But the one thing I think we have to realize at the point now is Pace saw a window and he went for the window. Yep. That's how you get the Khalil Mack trade. And yeah, he missed on the quarterback. Absolutely missed on the quarterback. If
two quarterbacks.
Yeah, if you would have taken if you would have just went with what everybody was saying, you would have taken Deshaun Watson. I'm sorry, in that second year we had Watson, you might have been looking at a team that might have been a Super Bowl contender. And this is before all the bullshit came out about Watson, all that shit. I'm not going to hold it against Pace about Patrick Mahomes. I mean, I don't think anybody's seen Patrick Mahomes coming for real. I stop it.
I did. I wanted the Bears to draft Mahomes.
I said draft Mahomes too, but I thought we could trade back and get Mahomes. But I just felt like if you would have just went with who the consensus was, you would have had a Super Bowl contender that second year. I kind of feel like right now the Packers are in that same window.
They went for it.
They went for it and they got their guy.
Yeah,
I don't see
making
Poles,
a big difference.
Yeah, I don't see Poles doing anything aggressive. You got to realize Pace hit on a lot of these late round picks.
Yeah,
Poles isn't. Right now, you're looking at an offense where we're wondering who the hell the starting running back should be. You have people saying that freaking DeAndre Swift should be benched. You got folks saying right now, trade DJ Moore to try to get somebody. It's a lot of dysfunction going on, and I'll say dysfunction in the fan base because
they want to trade Montez, they want to trade DJ.
Right, they want to trade everybody. You do that, then you're looking at the fact that we probably just wasted another 2 or 3 years of Caleb, and then you're going to end up in the same position that we just did with Justin Fields, where you're going to be looking at a guy and trying to get rid of the guy that you got right now. So, I don't know, man. To me, it's just a lot of dysfunction, bro.
Yeah, like Neil said, that whole list he read off, man. That's just years of dysfunction. I forgot how much we've been tortured, Neil.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to rain on the. I didn't mean to piss over everybody's situation right now, but that's kind of what I felt I just did. But that's the thing that is the dysfunction. Perfect word. You know that is what needs to be rated out of this franchise right now is just 12 years worth of just absolute garbage culture that. And there's a troubling thing going on right now when our head football coach is up at the podium saying that we're going to be watching practice and seeing who wants to play, who wants to earn their spot on the field and all that different type of stuff. Talking about effort, things that professionals should. That is a college coach talking point. That's not something that we should be talking about in the NFL. And having to watch the film and go through practice and see who wants to actually play. That's that is a sign that there's some lingering garbage culture kicking around in the locker room right now. That needs to be eliminated ASAP.
Yeah, I got the quote up there.
Sorry, mate. There's something to say a lot on that. Neil, since first time I had a chance to ever speak to him live, even though you sort of hiding behind Ben Johnson. But it was fun enough to Ben Johnson. What's been your initial impressions of Ben Johnson since he's come in?
I like the presence and the attitude and the culture he's trying to get these guys to buy into. And I think there are guys that are certainly buying into it. It's funny. Someone very, very close to me was that is a Lions fan was telling me that the look on Ben Johnson's face, that jovial kind of we're having a good time type of facial expression. Resting jovial face that he used to have has been replaced by anger, by bitterness, and
you mean this?
He doesn't look good. He doesn't look good, boys. He looks like he's ready to punch somebody in the face. That's what it looks like right there. He is not having a good time. It doesn't look like
he's
it.
Used
just
to
look at
winning.
his face. He's used to winning. He's used to a quarterback being able to move the ball. He's used to an offense being able to score.
Yep.
He's used to being able to get a little bit creative and do some fun stuff with his offensive game plan. That's not happening right now. That needs to be fixed out. But yeah, he's having a hard time. I think he knows what he wants it to be and he knows what it should look like.
Yeah.
And it's he's got to eradicate 12 years of horseshit culture in order to get there, and that's going to take some time.
Yeah, roughly around 14 or 15 is when George McCaskey took over as chairman of the board of the Chicago Bears. And since George has taken over, we've kind of been snake bit. We've made a lot of bad decisions, given out bad money. We've had to rebuild. We might be in a second rebuild. It was shocking for Bears fans after last week that we went through what we thought was a rebuild, and we're kind of ready to maybe take a step in the division to be set back. And now we're thinking we might have a second rebuild. But this game today and the following game, they're both must-win games. We have to win these to go into the bye 2-2, and they're winnable games. I think. I mean, it's going to be a tough ask of the team to stop the Dallas Cowboys offense, the number one offense in the NFL, and our defense has not played like it could stop anybody. Mm-hmm. We're devastated in the secondary. We've lost three of our best back seven defenders. Will be out of this game. T.J. Edwards, Jalen Johnson, and Kyler Gordon. Those are three of our best back seven. There's no question. We're going to be. Dennis Allen has got to cook up something exotic. Thoughts on the Cowboys? I've got some numbers here. So in 3 p.m. or later games, the Bears with Caleb Williams are 0-7, losing by an average of 11 points per game. Since 2021, the Bears are 6-33 straight up as underdogs versus the NFC. And in his career, Dak Prescott is 39-12 straight up versus teams that are under 500. So, I mean, I don't mean to rain on anybody's parade, but this is going to be a really tough ask for our defense. Thoughts on what Dennis Allen might do with what he's got?
All right, I'll go first.
Take it, yeah.
I'll wait for Neil, and then I thought it could be Neil or KB then, but no. I mean, it's just sort of it's going to be so interesting to see how they respond from giving away a 50 burger last week. That's the start of that'll show you the sort of culture.
Where's the pride?
What the chat generating, in the facility. If they can actually show a bit of a backbone and learn from the mistakes and hopefully have a talent of a day to win, then, that shows that, these are decent culture and character. But if they just get blown away again, then that shows you that there's something quite rotten going on. And it's bigger than probably what we've all thought. Maybe it's something what's been, going on through the off-season, what nobody's been aware of.
KB?
I would say, man, you at this point you just got to see where like they said when talking about going back and looking at who wants to practice. You got to see who wants to be on this team, who wants to play, man. I mean, it's as simple as that. You can't keep fielding the same thing. You can't put these same guys out there expecting a different result. So whoever decides to step up in this game, we had, to be honest, you think about that first game we played. And I came away impressed by Nashawn Wright by the end of the game, and it was a lot of being down on him because he was giving up plays until he wasn't. Then you got how Dayal played in that first game. I think everybody played like shit last week. Everybody that played on that defense played like shit. So it's really gonna come down to who wants it the most, man. I'm looking in the chat and I'm seeing people talking about a tear down. Be honest, if you gut this roster, you got to get rid of Caleb. I'm just going to be honest with you because you're going to get to a point where you're going to have to play him. It's going to be the same cycle. We're talking about tear downs and rebuilds, brother. You can't keep anybody if you want to tear a team down because you're going to put yourself in the same situation that you did when we had Fields. You're going to tear a team down and then want a quarterback because you have to pay the quarterback. And
people saying that regarding the coaching staff as well, or just the players?
Just the players. I've seen a lot of.
If they'd been a good staff, I would have thought you're a fucking set of idiots.
Yeah. So, bro, I can't. In my head, I can't quantify tearing this team down right now because tearing it down means to me that everybody needs to go. If you're gonna really tear a roster down, let the head coach that's here pick who they want. And to me, that means that everybody has to go, man. Nobody should be safe. So I don't want to see a tear down. We've been tearing this team apart for 10 years. So
which it seems like Ben Johnson has been somebody that has been telling Ryan Poles who he wants, though, too.
Right.
So and that's not something also that's going to happen overnight as well.
It's not.
So that's why I say there is. I understand patience has been a little bit of a trigger word for all of us, I think, over the course of the past decade plus, because we've been, we've honestly been trying to be patient for about 40 years now.
Yep.
To be honest, but it's basically been 5 minutes of this new head coach, this new situation. But let's get the right pieces in place, and then we can start saying this whole entire thing is horseshit. That's garbage. This needs to go. We need to tear the entire thing apart. That we don't need to be doing that yet. I think that's a little bit premature on that talking point. But it's funny. RKB brought up Nashawn Arad. I assume that he is somebody that at many points on last Sunday that we wanted to stick him in a can and fire him off to the moon. I mean, he gave up that massive touchdown with J-Mo just sprinting straight down the field. It looked like he was standing still. He should have planted his ass in the end zone and just waited for J-Mo to get there. Is what he should have done. But that's the other thing about it, though, man. We our secondary is just it's all types of banged up. We gotta get that thing healthy before we really start seeing what this defense could potentially look like with the pieces in place. Got to get everybody healthy, and I guess that's also a massive problem though too that needs to be addressed is that we got guys that can't stay healthy.
Yep.
Kyler Gordon, God bless him. In any normal situation where he's not on the shelf, he's a really good piece of that secondary, probably second best corner that we have overall.
Yeah,
second best DB we have overall, probably. I would assume.
Yep.
But we gotta get these guys healthy, man. That's the biggest thing. I just saw something where Jalen Johnson is going to head to Philly.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jalen Johnson, Ian Rappaport just tweeted this out 57 minutes ago. Jalen Johnson plans to fly to Philly early this week to meet with Dr. William Myers of the Vincere Institute with core muscle surgery. The likely outcome, sources say.
That's going to put him
if
out
that is the case, Johnson would have a chance to return during the second half of the season.
Wow.
Really? Right. Oh, that's
Nice.
cool.
Very cool.
So that is encouraging if that ends up
news.
being the result of that.
Yep.
I've got someone who Barflies don't probably know. He's my co-host on Fantasy Football Goon, and he grew up in Cowboys territory. He's going to help us break down the Cowboys. My favorite Okie, Adam Schaum.
Hey.
Good morning. What's up, fellas?
How you doing, mate?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good.
I've been telling him how fantastic your accent is. But break down the Cowboys a little bit for us growing up there in Cowboy territory.
Hell yeah, love a good Southern accent, brother. Let's do it.
Well, I've already been out this morning and been with a whole bunch of Cowboys fans and heard all about they're excited to play the Bears today. I can tell you that.
Oh, God.
Yeah, they are looking forward to this one. I can't blame them, really. For the Bears, it is an opportunity, though. I mean, that, the Cowboys have their own injuries aside from, I heard you guys talking about how bad the Bears are banged up on defense and stuff, obviously, and how it's probably going to be a field day for Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, I'd assume. But, the Cowboys are missing their center this week. Their center's hurt, so that's a big blow for them. They're also missing Deron Bland in their secondary. And I think there's some question marks around Trayvon Diggs still as well. So, it's an opportunity for Caleb and them to try to take advantage today. And, even if they're not going to win, they need to put up points and make it a shootout game and not sit on their ass and get blown out by 30 like they did last week. They started out, put up some points in the first quarter, and then just went shit again. And they've got to keep it up this week and keep their foot on the gas and at least keep up with Dallas because Dallas is going to score on our defense.
Yep.
That's just – there's no doubt about that.
Can the Bears score on the Dallas defense? Their defense ain't great either. I know it's the revenge game for Matt Eberflus, Adam.
Yeah, no, this is definitely, like I said, an opportunity for the Bears because the Dallas defense is shit. Without Mark Parsons, they don't have the pass rush they had before. Trayvon Diggs is a guy that, he has a reputation for takeaways and stuff, but that's what he does. He plays the ball, and you can burn him because he gets so anticipatory for trying to get interceptions. You can beat him deep and stuff. So the Bears have to try to do that today. And the Cowboys also play a lot of two high safeties, which is where I think DJ Moore could have a good day today. He does very well against two high safety defenses. Statistically, if you look back at all his games, that's where he succeeds. The games he disappears in is when the teams play a lot of single high safety. So I think DJ Moore has good opportunity today in this game, and Caleb needs to be ready to get it to him.
Great point. I mean, the Bears practiced against the cover two for almost 3 years. Matt Eberflus's defense, they saw it every day in practice. They should be able to put up some points, but I think you're absolutely right. I think we have got to keep up offensively with Cowboys. They are going to put points up. Like I said, I love the over in this game. It's sitting at like around 50 right now. I already hammered the over in this game, but also like some of the players you mentioned to go over their totals, like Caleb and Dak and CeeDee Lamb, even DJ Moore. I didn't really look at it too much because you got to admit DJ Moore's been a little bit forgotten in this offense. It's more of been
self-inflicted.
It's been the stepbrothers.
Yeah. Well said, mate.
Caleb and Rome. It's been. Rome Odunze has really stepped up this game.
Can I just say to you, that is such a shit photograph, isn't it?
You don't like it?
Oh, absolute shite.
It just says so many things, but not saying anything. It's terrible.
That's got to be AI.
I think they really took that picture.
Yeah,
I think they really took that picture.
Yeah,
I think they really did too.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Oh my God! I thought it was AI.
No.
I hope so. I hope they really actually did take that picture. That would be
I thought there was no way. But anyways,
DJ Moore though, self-inflicted, man. He's taking himself out of this entire thing.
Let's take a look at that injury report. Are you guys disappointed that Karan Amagaji wound up on injured reserve? He was a guy, a third-round pick. We took a Yale. Not exactly the hotbed of college football draft picks.
Yeah, but it's not going to make any difference, though, is it? I mean, he's hardly been on the field for ever since we drafted him. So to me, it's like, well, are we really going to notice the guy? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, and then again, like I said, T.J. Edwards, Kyler Gordon, Jalen Johnson. Even Jalen Jones is out now. That's the other one I think.
He's been on the injury report since week 1.
And then
coming out of camp.
Swift will play. He's got to me, I looked was watching the game again for a second time because I'm a masochist. But there was a lot of looked like poor conditioning, and now we've got all these hamstring injuries. Back when Rusty Jones was the strength and conditioning coordinator, they had a lot of more stretching and better. They seem to be less injury prone. I don't know if it's a conditioning thing. And then another thing was both trenches guys were bad technique, a little high in their stance, coming out of their stance. It got a little too high, and that can certainly be cleaned up. The secondary, though, Adam, it's going to be a worry against the Cowboys' passing attack. Brian Schottenheimer's done a great job with that offense.
Oh yeah, and Dak just has so much control of it. Even with the change in coaching this year, he's been there. Schottenheimer's been there with him, so they know each other already. Dak has such control of that offense at the line of scrimmage. He's gonna read the Bears defense very easily today and know what he knows the weak spots already with the injuries. So Dak gets up there, he's gonna read it. They're gonna burn them nonstop. CeeDee Lamb's gonna probably have at least 100 yards, maybe in the first half of this game. That's the thing is the Bears have to keep up with it, or otherwise they're gonna run away with it. And that'd be my only concern, like for for fantasy reasons or anything, is those guys could get benched because the Cowboys could get away from it if the Bears don't keep it up on offense.
Oh, shit.
So they have to take advantage of like Duron Bland being out, and like I said, Caleb Williams got to be willing to get the ball to everybody. He can't just focus on Rome today. I hope Rome has a great game and Rome is breaking out, but he's got to be willing to get the ball to DJ Moore. We got to get the ball to tight end more.
Yeah,
tight ends are getting no targets right now. We have to get more tight ends targets. There's going to be stuff open down the seam against the Cowboys. We know what Eberflus does. How many times have we watched us get burned by tight ends over the middle?
Yep. Another thing I want to get your guys' thoughts on. We've been playing behind the sticks a lot with the penalties, the false starts, everything. 20 penalties for 157 yards so far this season. Neil, how can we cut down on these false starts, the holdings, just the anything to keep us from getting to third 30 or second to 28, whatever? Because it seems like we've been playing behind the sticks like all these first two games, all game.
Play like professionals. is my first thought. Let's not be jagoffs out there on the field. Darnell Wright, holy hell! Hey, dude, there's a snap count. Use it. Stop jumping off sides. But no, I mean, seriously though, that needs to be nipped in the bud. I assume that is something that was hammered very, very hard over the course of this practice week. It's completely unacceptable. Week 1, 12 penalties, 120 some odd yards.
Yeah,
was the most penalties in a week 1 game. I can't remember if it was across the board NFL or just the Bears franchise since 1940 something.
But Neil, real quick, I just want to give it a little bit of grace because we did have 3 really bullshit calls.
There were some bad calls in that game. Yeah,
hey, officiating is garbage. We just need to expect that.
Absolutely.
Did we watch college football yesterday?
Terrible.
Did we see that targeting call? Excuse me, no targeting call in the Syracuse-Clemson game, and then 2 games later, the guy breathes on him too hard, and they called targeting. You have to be absolutely shitting me. What are we doing with? Oh, I don't. All right, I'm not gonna go into it.
I had Oklahoma -6.5. They covered for me with that late safety. Adam, it was Boomer Sooner for me yesterday.
Man, school record 10 sacks yesterday.
11 sacks, I think. Yeah,
that defensive line was dominant yesterday, especially in the second half.
Yeah, Brett Venables' defense has been just fantastic this season.
And Oklahoma State could not be worse. My God. I don't know. Gundy's going to be fired any minute now.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, geez. Yeah. That's rough.
They lost to Tulsa this weekend.
Yeah. They got blown out almost, didn't they? Or were they blown out?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a blowout, but they got beat soundly for TU. That's for sure.
Yeah.
You can't get run up and down the field by Tulsa, boys.
No.
If you're Oklahoma State specifically, you cannot get run up and down the field by that outfit. So that's a massive problem. He is his seat is on fire, I would assume.
Yeah. My friends yesterday, we were all already. Everybody's like, "Well, can we start taking bets on how fast Gundy's getting fired?" It's happening. It's happening.
How much do we think that Dabo is feeling that something could be imminent and something could be coming down the pike for him? That soliloquy that he busted out in the press conference earlier this week, a 13-minute long. How could you possibly say that we have not that we are a bad situation and I'll happily go coach somewhere else if you think that I can't. That was a bizarre thing to take place. I don't know what's going on there at Clemson.
Yeah, he seems kind of checked out.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That was a weird thing. And yesterday they definitely did not. Now, hey, to be fair though, Syracuse, they got their shit together. They really do. And Steve Angeli, I was pounding the table for as the quarterback for the past couple years when Marcus Freeman, awesome human, great coach, God bless him, the entire thing, kept on taking transfer portal quarterbacks and driving me up the damn wall as a Notre Dame fan because the kids can't throw the ball. Each and every single one of those 3 that he brought in couldn't throw the football. Steve Angeli is an actual quarterback. He can actually, push the ball down the field, get from A to B. And he goes ahead and shoots himself on over to Syracuse, and now look at Syracuse. But Syracuse has it together. But Clemson definitely did not look like they either wanted to be on the same field as Syracuse yesterday, or they could be on the same field as Syracuse yesterday. And so that is a thing I think that Clemson fans are starting to kind of ratchet up the heat on just a little bit.
Yeah, there's talent on Clemson. I don't get it, man. The defensive line is good. They have pass rush. Cade Klubnik is supposed to be a good guy, outplayed by Garrett Nussmeier in the LSU game. I did not expect a Syracuse full upset.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Carr is the quarterback at Notre Dame.
Yeah, CJ Carr.
Right? Yeah, CJ Carr, right?
Lloyd Carr's grandkid,
grandson of Lloyd Carr. Yep.
Yeah,
I haven't been impressed with him for Notre Dame, but they did put up points yesterday. I mean, it's okay. I mean, they put up a lot of points yesterday, which is great. I did not see that coming, but they struggled in the game before that. But he's been okay, yeah, I guess.
The defense has been losing games for Notre Dame now.
The defense has been a problem for Notre Dame, which
say what you want about CJ Carr's first 2 quarters as a Notre Dame quarterback and a freshman.
Yeah,
but
I'm probably a little biased.
Ever since the second half of the Miami game, or really even the fourth quarter of the Miami game, that kid has been absolutely dropping down. Did you see the opening play of the game yesterday?
That
was an absolute
I saw the
dime.
first game. That's it. Yeah,
first play of the game. It kind of reminded me of the opening play of the Florida State game in the Doak back in Tyrone Willingham's first year, 2000, whatever the hell that was, 2 or 3. I think it was 2002. Notre Dame was, Tyrone Willingham's first year. They damn near went undefeated in the entire thing.
Yeah.
First play of the game, deep ball, dropped it straight on Malachi, straight into Malachi's breadbasket. It was gorgeous. 7-0 with 14:50 left on the clock in the first quarter.
Damn,
beautiful. That kid can throw the football, and I've seen him throw live when he was in high school. I've seen that kid throw live. He can absolutely deliver the football.
All right. Yeah, I was tainted by the first game, but yeah, good, excellent, man. It wasn't one of the games I had on my rotation yesterday, but we've also had been tainted in my mind of the Arch Manning stuff with Texas, but might not be as good as everyone thinks.
He doesn't look very good at all.
Yeah, I was watching the Oklahoma game a little bit more yesterday. I had money on that one, but
Oklahoma fans are loving watching Arch Manning suck.
Right. Yeah, they had the under in the Texas Tech Utah game. That was a good game. Texas Tech defensive line, man. Utah's got a good team though too.
Texas Tech's Jay Grizz, but Texas Tech is good. Texas Tech is buying themselves quite a nice roster right now.
Yep. Yeah, they have. Yeah, the transfer portal's made it a lot harder for me to judge these teams, whether they're really great or not. I think Dabo hasn't really taken advantage of the transfer portal, right? That's why the team might be suffering a little bit. Or he was adamant against doing it kind of in the same school as Saban, not wanting to dabble in the NIL transfer portal and whatnot. But I thought Clemson would win the ACC. It looks a lot like Miami's to lose.
Yeah. Yeah, Miami should be taking that one.
Yeah. Let's see if we got any questions and we can get to some final thoughts with Bears and Cowboys. Let's see. Is Caleb a failure in the locker room, even if you still think he has the talent to be a playmaker on the field? I'm not in the locker room, but I don't know.
How would any of us know that? None of us would ever know that. That's what happens in the locker room.
Yeah.
The locker room is the player's domain. And I just don't see the lack of leadership in it. I just don't see it at the moment in time. And you think about what he went through last year with all the crap coaching, coaches getting fired, getting sacked 68 times, always on his back foot then. He's proven that he's strong enough physically to get through a whole season and mentally as well. Well, I just don't know how you'd ever find that out unless you had some sort of spy in the locker room. But I don't see it. I don't see a lack of leadership yet, anyway.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either. Man, I got to echo what Neil said. It is kind of early to panic, but if the Bears are 0-4 going into the bye, I can't see us losing to the Raiders. But really, we have to see how they play today. But if the Bears are 0-4 heading into the bye, is that time to panic? I'm just saying.
It depends how we lose, though, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? It depends how the losses are. And I know people are saying, "Oh, put Burgeon in if they have sort of won by the bye week." But how's Caleb going to improve and learn if he sat on the bench? And if the season's going to be going that way anyway, then I'd rather him get as much experience as possible. So, but that's how I feel about the sort of player changes maybe when we get to the bye week.
I just think because of Caleb Williams' high profile, I don't think there's a chance that we see Tyson Bagent much this season. I know Ben Johnson may want to insert Bagent, who runs the offense, maybe a little bit better, but maybe there would be resistance from management. They have to find out whether Caleb Williams is the guy. Like I said, if you get to Caleb Williams' fourth year, a new contract for Caleb Williams is going to be very expensive. The Bears not knowing whether or not he's the guy and getting to the point where you have to re-sign him. I mean, they kind of avoided that with Mitch and with Justin. They got to the point where, they just decided to get rid of him rather than giving them a second contract. It has to be this season. The quarterback that they did give a second contract to was Tyson Bagent. It makes you wonder. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Adam, do you think we'll see Bagent this season?
I mean, I don't think we will unless there's an injury, related.
That's what I'm thinking. Yep.
Like Chris was saying and stuff. I think, and like you brought up, if they go 0-4, then look, the season they're out of the playoffs anyway. They're not going to make the playoffs. Caleb needs to be out there every snap of the season. He needs to fight through it. He needs to get all the experience he can. He needs to face the boos if he's got boos getting booed out there. He needs to deal with it. They got to mature him and grow him up one way or another. Whether it's through winning or losing, he's going to have to face the music out there, as they say, and deal with it. If they're 0-5, 0-6, he needs to take every snap. He needs the experience and the reps, no matter what. We can't baby him and sit him down and put Bagent out there and bullshit. If anybody believes that he's the quarterback in House Hall, he has to be out there every snap this year.
Neil, it was a different offense in USC than what Ben Johnson runs. It's going to take time, don't you think, for Caleb to really master this offense?
It is absolutely going to take time. And it is a shit or get off the pot year. So they're not going to mess around too much with, the musical chairs and quarterbacks. I don't think that's going to be, what they're going to be doing. It is definitely something that Caleb needs to figure out. He has never been in a situation where there has been too much structure. He is, from high school through college, and really, I mean, his first year last year, his rookie year last year, was really the first time that he's actually had to do quarterback stuff. Lincoln Riley pretty much coddled the kid and let him do what he's really good at, which is kind of going off script, playing off platform, all this, Johnny football type stuff, which hell, his Heisman Trophy year. And really after seeing him replace Spencer Rattler his first year at Oklahoma, I can't remember when I put the tweet out, but I just thought, this kid's going to win a Heisman Trophy at some point. I mean, you just look at the way that he's being dynamic and making plays. I mean, that's what the Heisman voters like to see. So that's what he was good at in college, though. And that is unstructured, undisciplined, non-quarterback type stuff. And he has to learn how to be a quarterback, how to be a professional quarterback at that. Mm-hmm. And so it is going to take him some time to learn how to do that. And especially in Ben Johnson's system, which apparently there is a ton of stuff. There's a lot of stuff in that entire offensive scheme that Ben Johnson has and already has thrown at Caleb just to see what he can retain. So it's going to be a slow burn. And the thing about rookies a lot of times too, and let's go ahead and be honest, this basically is Caleb's second rookie year, right?
Yeah.
He has improved over last year, and he has improved week over week so far this season. And so I would like to think that once it starts to slow down, it's going to look really good. But so far, everything's still going 1,000 miles an hour for him. The good thing that I think that he is dealing with right now is an offensive line that he's slowly starting to be able to trust, at least up the middle. As I said earlier when I first jumped on, at least up the middle. He has a left guard and a center, two grizzled veterans that can get the job done. Right guard has kind of looked like a little bit of a situation so far this season.
Yeah.
Looked a little bit like a Nate Davis type of thing so far this season, and then the tackles can't block lawn chairs. So those are two things that he's still kind of having to deal with. That clock in his head runs pretty quick, and it will for any quarterback that can't trust what's in front of them, but especially a rookie. So and that's another reason with Tua why I say there has to be just a little bit of an element of patience in this whole thing, because he is a rookie again. And he doesn't have a complete offensive line again. And we see what he can do when he's able to trust what's in front of him, when he does have the structure of like the opening script or basically having a plan and knowing what is coming up, what's coming next, and not having to basically do a ton of professional quarterback stuff. But it's one of those things we just got to let him. We just got to let him grow up into the system. And it is going to be it's going to be pretty much a baptism by fire type of year for him, because they got to make that decision on that 5th year option, probably at the end of the year. Which again, that's why I'm saying there's not going to be a whole lot of musical chairs with the quarterbacks this year, even though there's people across the national media that want to see that take place, because that creates drama and that creates storylines, and all these talking heads have something to talk about because everybody needs something to talk about. But in Chicago, that's not what we need.
Yeah, I agree. If this was Caleb Williams' rookie year, I know what you're saying about this is his second rookie year, but if this were his actual rookie year and you saw him make some big time throws like he did last week, you would have said, hey, we really got something here. And improvement from game 1 to game 2. So hopefully from game 2 to game 3, we're able to put something together. But to me, a lot of problems have come from the run game. We're getting push. We're getting a push from our offensive line in the run game. It's just our running back isn't really getting the yards per carry average that we need. I don't know whether it is he's not trusting or running to the right spot, running through the right hole is called. But a lot of people in the chat room are saying we need to improve at running back, and I think we might see some of the 7th round rookie today. Anybody clamoring for a little more Monangai and Roshan Johnson, guys? What you?
I'm desperate for it. And I think as well, I just changed up the play calling a bit as well, because it just gets very samey when it comes to Swift. We know he's a bit of a slasher and he likes to have a bit of space, but I just feel like with the rookie, it just seems to be ideal for what we need to do. The running back, he can bounce off tackles, evade tackles as well, and he's a bit like a bowling ball. So I just like it. I just might mix up the style of running what we can, call throughout the game.
The running back room is really a big part of the problem right now. We have
massively.
There is a reason why DeAndre Swift did not stick around in Detroit, right? I mean, there's a reason why. Or Phil, right, exactly, and because he's not a feature back, and he's also completely incapable of blocking on third down. He is completely incapable of picking up the free rusher. He got absolutely steamrolled last week trying to pick up a linebacker coming through the gap. So Monangai is somebody that has some shit in his neck that's going to be able to bow up and put his helmet on someone's chin strap there. I think he's a guy that we need to have in there when it gets to 3rd and long, or when it gets to nutsack time on the goal line, or down and short is the guy that we need in there. But yeah, the run, because the big thing is, boys, we got to realize the run game sets up the pass game in this offense.
Yeah, exactly.
If we can't move the football on the ground, the pass game is going to suffer, and that's going to make Caleb even more uncomfortable back there because defenses can feel like they can go ahead and pin their ears back and get after his ass.
Yep.
And that's a problem. We need the run game to be at least competent to be able to get yards, to keep the defense honest, so that the offensive line can do their jobs, and so that this play action thing can work. And with Caleb in a play action system, again, he's got to learn how to play quarterback. But again, Caleb with his athletic traits and his arm talent, and once he finally figures it out, that is a dangerous thing.
Yep.
That's a very dangerous thing to think about. And once it finally happens, it's going to look beautiful. We just got to get it from A to B. We got to get it from A to B. That's all needs to happen. And so hopefully, again, it's going to be a slow burn probably, but once it clicks for him, once it slows down, boy, is that going to be electric.
I agree. We just have to be patient with Caleb. KB, what if the Bills gave up on Josh Allen after his first year or two?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He didn't have the best, and people
Josh
were
Allen
saying
looked like hot garbage for the first
year or two.
2 years,
exactly.
he was terrible.
Right. Patience with Caleb, right?
It's patience with Caleb, all right, but it also, it leads to us fans, it leads to the coaching staff, the guys that are up top. The Bills fans that I knew didn't give up on Josh Allen. A lot of them seen the promise. I mean, it's gonna take a village. You feel me? It's gonna take a village.
It's different when you're the Bears. It's hard to have patience because you've seen this over and over again.
Yep.
Yes.
40 years of patience is what I talked about earlier on. We've been patient for a long time, boys.
Yeah.
Talking about the running back room, I want to remind everyone, because this is stuck in my brain for the rest of my life. Ryan Poles drafted a punter 3 picks before Bucky Irving was drafted by Tampa Bay.
Nice one, Adam.
We drafted 2 punters.
Bucky Irving's like a top 5 running back.
2 punters in the past 5 years. We drafted 2 punters. And like what? Maybe 1 or 2 edge rushers.
Because Ryan Poles is the most arrogant, shitty GM in the league.
How about us being 3-17 versus divisional opponents since that cringy press conference where he bizarrely said we're going to win the North and take the North and never give it back, or whatever.
He's got the worst
idiotic thing that
thinks he's got it made.
we just don't say that stuff, man. We don't say that stuff.
And that punter's not even very good. What is special about Corey Taylor? He's not even that good.
He was supposed to be this magician. He's supposed to David Blaine the ball down to the one. I have no idea what's going on there.
The backspin, the big leg.
Right. I haven't seen one 70-yard punt or one ball down on the 1-yard line or any of this bullshit they claimed he could do. And yet you see Bucky Irving's rushing for 1,200 yards and catching 700 yards for Tampa. And, here we are talking about DeAndre fucking Swift.
Yeah. Yep, he got rid of David Montgomery, pretty good player that fans liked. But yeah, I mean, we can go and second guess all of the bad moves and stuff, and what we really need to do is kind of focus on how do we fix the Bears, But I did preview a little bit. I wanted to talk about a guy that Neil and I kind of talked about offline. Was Caden Proctor, the left tackle on Alabama. I don't know whether we'll be drafting high enough to get him, but the kid is 6'7", 360 something, and he is an athlete. He dominated the Des Moines prep school scene here in Des Moines at Southeast Polk High School. Was supposed to go to the Hawkeyes, ended up going to Alabama. Started as a true freshman. Man, the Bears could use a left tackle like that, Neil.
Yeah.
When you get a chance to watch, if you watch an Alabama game, take a look at the left tackle. As far as
how much does it chap your ass that he left Iowa to go to Alabama, and how much does it further chap your ass when he transferred back to Iowa and then right away, boom, going back to Alabama?
Gone. I know,
like in basically the same breath. Like I'm gonna go back home to Iowa. Oh wait, you know what? We're gonna go back here to Alabama.
I mean, we had never seen an athlete of this size in Des Moines, let alone the whole country. But man, I want Barfly to just take a look. We got to see him here in Des Moines for his whole high school career before leaving. But if you were to take a look at running backs in the draft, Neil, anybody? I know you're a Jeremiah Love fan. What is it going to take for the Bears to get a good running back in this draft? Is Love a first-round pick, you think?
I think Love is a first-round pick all the way. I haven't looked at any mock drafts, but I would assume that is where he's being slotted, probably somewhere in mid-first round, if I could guess, which is right where, at the beginning of the year, we thought that the Bears were going to be somewhere between 8 and 10 wins. So,
right.
Mid to late first round is what we thought we were going to be seeing in terms of our draft pick. But yeah, I love Jeremiah Love, man. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Notre Dame guy.
Right.
I don't see that.
Jamil Gibbs 2.0.
Jahmyr Gibbs, yeah.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
He does have some breakaway speed, though. I forget the name.
Does. He's an explosive.
Yeah.
He's an explosive playmaker. Would love to see him wear that number 4 with replace DeAndre Swift with just remove the nameplate, remove the player inside the entire uniform there, and we'll be in great shape. I think if we can go ahead and take that guy, put him on the team right now. That would be
probably the consensus number 1 running back in the draft. The Michigan kid was a little impressive too. Justice Haynes, I was impressed with him. Maybe not as much breakaway speed as Love, but still pretty damn fast. I know the Penn State running back has been pretty heavily regarded, but I wasn't as impressed as these other guys, Love and Haynes. Haynes was former Alabama, I think, too. I think he played. Did he play at Alabama, Neil?
Yep.
Transferred to Michigan? So. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. How much do you think there's going to be a mutiny in Chicago if we don't take an offensive tackle or an edge rusher in the first round this year?
Yeah, exactly.
Even a running back. How much do you think there's going to be rioting in the streets if we don't take a Trunch player in the first round in this particular NFL draft? I think there's a good chance.
I was saying Clemson's got a couple good edge rushers on their defensive line, with TJ Parker and I forget the other kid's name. But man, we need really the trenches. This is the damning part of Ryan Poles, is that the trenches weren't, fortified. Like you said, we picked defensive backs, wide receivers, and punters. It really needed offensive linemen and edge rushers with our high draft picks, and he didn't have a first round pick his first year. I get it, but the trenches, he's tried to fix all of that in free agency. It's ended up costing us $98 million to Montez Sweat, who I think out of all of the defensive linemen faced a double team rate of 63 out of 63rd in the NFL out of all the defensive linemen. So he's not really getting double teamed. He's got to win the singles. And then the expense, we laid out some coin for Dio, and then he rushed out and got Grady Jarrett, who has been fairly invisible. I know he's had some injury problems, and again, the injury bug. You couldn't ask for a worse script to start the season. The injuries, the shock of the roster not being fantastic as we thought it was going to be. The no pass rush, the run game. The guys are getting penalized. It's just so many problems. You couldn't write a worse start to the script. The Bear fans are understandably upset. Let me see if we have any more questions. Yeah, you can't fix it all in free agency, Rob. Yeah, I agree. We may be in trouble cap-wise. I know Poles cleaned up the cap after Ryan Pace left. We were in a little bit of salary cap hell. I'll tell you, if you look at some of the numbers, we may be in salary cap hell pretty soon if we get rid of some of these other players. The cap hits for some of the players where we to cut them are pretty high. Let's see.
Rob is correct though. You got to build through the draft. You can't build through the draft. Free agency is your convenience store.
Exactly.
When you need a can of tuna or you're out of bread, you go to the convenience store. You don't go to the supermarket for that. The supermarket is where you get all your all your massive shopping trips.
That's why,
that's what the draft is. That's your supermarket. Free agency is your convenience store.
Can you name a blue chip player that Poles has picked? Maybe Odunze.
Odunze is looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, he's looking pretty good. I know it's too early to talk about Colston Loveland.
J2 has been an absolute flop.
And Caleb may end up being a blue chip if he works out.
I mean, Kyler Gordon would be a good one if he could keep himself.
Kyler Gordon, pretty good pick.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, it's been a lot of misses.
Good pick. Can't stay healthy.
Yep, good pick.
Which part of that there's that whole best availability is availability thing.
Yep, best ability is availability. All right, we'll go around and get some predictions on the game. We got fantasy football game coming up at the bottom of the hour with myself and Adam Schaum, just the two of us.
There we go.
So we'll be talking a little fantasy football, giving out some picks and stuff and taking questions. We'll go around. We'll start with Neil. Or else I'll start with Adam. How about your prediction? I could go around counterclockwise and I'll finish up. Give us a prediction. Any shout outs you want to shout out?
I mean, score for the game today, I think we're looking at probably about, I'd say like 37-22, something like that. Cowboys are going to win, in my opinion, unfortunately. I just don't see our defense being able to stop them long enough, even if we do keep up with them early on. But that's going to be the key is keeping up with them on offense. Caleb's got to move the ball. We can't – seems like we get to like 200 yards passing and then just stalls out every game. Like we gotta keep pushing it, and he's got to have a 300-yard passing game against this Cowboys defense today to win this game. It's going to take that. I don't know how healthy Swift is, so I hope we do see a little more Monangai and try to establish the run early, because the Cowboys are going to run Javonte Williams up our ass too, and because we've shown no ability to stop the run either.
They're going to run, they're going to pass.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to have to do both as well versus them. So I'll take Cowboys 37-22. Unfortunately, I hope the Bears can get closer to 30 points today, though. But, you know, I just have low expectations these days.
Neil? And thanks for coming on, man. Both of you guys, Adam.
Thank you guys for having me join in. I appreciate it. It was great to see you guys.
It is good to be back. I will go ahead and tell you that it is good to be back. It's been way too long. I've been hanging out on the Irish Bears network for some of their Bears coverage too. So
I love
you can find me there as well. I'm going to try and be as consistent as possible on coming on this particular show, because I just have a bunch of fun with you guys. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you that I have a bunch of fun, and I want to keep it. I just want to keep this party going, man. I just want to keep it going.
Yeah. Always welcome.
Cowgirls, love it. So I think it's going to be points, man. I love Tucher. You said you're going to go ahead and smash that over. I like that idea. Over 50 sounds like a great thing to just throw a few stacks on right now.
Yep.
That's probably what I'm going to do as well. As soon as I get off here, go ahead and mess around with my little bookie on my phone here, and start throwing my cash around. Throw a certain percentage on the table here. The thing about it is, man, I really hope, with as porous as this Cowboys defense looks, that our retrievers can kind of be running wild all day, in that secondary like the Blueberries were last weekend. Points for both teams in the 30s, I think, is something that is feasible. Opening the week, I believe the line was -1. -1.5, in favor of the Bears, which is an encouraging thing. Vegas thinks that we can go ahead and get this one, put it in the bag, which is, I think, a necessity. Because I think if we can go into the bye week 2-2, that is we're going to very quickly forget about the previous couple weeks. That's going to be faded from memory very, very quickly here.
Yep.
Because the best antidote to losing and failure and bad vibes is a couple W's on the board, right? So let's go ahead and do that today. Let's go ahead and get a win. It's either going to be a blowout and the Bears are going to lose by 20, or it's going to be close and the Bears will squeak one out. I think it's going to be two things. There's not going to be anything in between. The Bears are going to whoop their ass. But I do think there's a potential they're going to get their ass whooped. So I think if we're going Occam's razor with this entire thing, if we're going Occam's razor, I'm thinking it might be a 41-31 type of thing for the Cowboys. That's what I want to think.
Yeah.
In terms of trying to maybe, jinx the thing a little bit. Because last week I said, hey, I think Bears could probably win by 5 or 6. And they lost by a gajillion. So the biggest thing we got to fix, man, is the last 5 quarters. I think it's 680 yards given up and 73 points.
Jesus.
Tighten it up a little bit on defense. Tighten it up. That's what we got to do. That is the biggest thing. I think offensively, the one thing we know that we're going to have is a fast start. It's the only thing we can probably bank on right now.
Yeah.
get that run game going, set up the play action on defense, feel free to block somebody, and feel free to bat a ball down. If the front seven can handle business up front, if we can go ahead and make Dak Prescott feel just a little bit uncomfortable, that will make life in the secondary so much easier.
Yeah.
With the banged up situation that we have. And that will allow us, I think, to stop them enough for our offense to maybe feel like they can be confident to go ahead and win a football game. So that's kind of where I'm at on that. It's not going to be like I see some people throwing around maybe like a 35-31 Bears win, 33-32 Bears win, 33-31 Bears win, something like that. If the Bears win, I think that is certainly going to be the case. If they lose, it's going to be by at least 2 scores.
All right, C-Dub.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to look at like in a positive sort of way. It's been great to say hello to you, Neil, and say hello to you, Adam. We want to say hello to Neil for a long time. Always loved it when you're doing Draft on Tap. Always a great show. I'm hoping that this is going to be the turnaround game. This is going to show a lot about the character of the team, especially the defensive side of the ball. Can look out mistakes of last week, and the backup players stood up with all our starters down. So I think it'll be a high-scoring game. So I think both defenses are really, stopping the points piling up. So I'm going to go Bears 35, Cowboys 28.
All right, I have the optimism. Look.
That I have to say to you, that's completely coming from my heart. And my head's basically going, we aren't going to fucking win anyway. But I feel like after such a disaster last week, is hopefully we can spin it around and use it for the positive. Maybe.
I think the Bears could score on this Cowboys defense. I'm looking at something like 34-31. If 33-30, 33-31, something like that. Last time the Cowboys play the last game the Cowboys played, they played for a 60-yard field goal to tie it against the Giants. That guy can hit from anywhere, man.
Yeah, man.
That's the difference between their special teams and our special teams, guys. But
Notre Dame soccer.
Yeah.
And,
Aubrey, right? Is
Brandon Aubrey.
Brandon Aubrey. That guy's got a magic leg. Speaking of magic legs, the Bears
they only have to get to the 50-yard line to kick.
Right.
The Bears have to get to the 25.
Exactly. I know. That's the difference. If the Bears can establish a run, I mean, look, the strength of the Cowboys' defense are the 2 defensive tackles with Clark and Adigazawa. Those guys could stop the run. We would like to establish the run. Don't know if they'll be able to do it. Would like to see them try regardless. And I'd like to see Manungai in there. Maybe he could spark some offense for us. But I think Cowboy. I mean, Dak Prescott is a solid veteran quarterback, and I think that might be too big of a hurdle for the Bears to overcome the difference in quarterback play. But I do think Caleb can put up some stats in this game. I think we could see 600 combined passing yards in this game. So with all the injuries in both secondaries, I think we will see a high-scoring game. I can't believe the over is only sitting around 49.5 to 50.5. But
that seems like a trap.
Yeah, it's in the back of my head, I'm like, what the heck? Well, you never know that Soldier Field turf could slow things down.
Yeah. Like Dolphins plus 13 on Thursday. Absolute trap.
Right.
Right. I stayed away from that one like the plague,
Exactly.
Not touch it.
Right. Still like the over. I just think most of the points might come, like Adam said, from the Cowboys in this. Most of the points for the over might come from the Cowboys in this one. That's about it, guys. We'll wrap it up here, and we'll see you next week for Barfly Tailgate. Stick around for Fantasy Football Goon coming up in a little bit. Adam, we'll see you in a couple minutes.
All right. See you,
You and me, buddy. All right. Later.
Gentlemen.
See you later, mate.
Gentlemen.